3, 2, 1. Yo, what's good?
Morning. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Hello. I'm just hosting real quick. I'm right there.
Oh my god.
I'm
I asked if you were ready.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. I can multitask. Okay. All right. I got this.
I was thinking about this. Did we ever explain our origin story
Wait, like
about how we became, content creators?
I think we did, didn't we? Well, hold on.
I mean,
We gave like a brief intro, but not like an origin story.
I remember talking about like working and then going full time.
I think we did.
Did we?
I think we did.
We might have touched on it, but
Okay.
maybe not in depth like you're saying.
Yeah, I think you're right, probably.
Because like I think you had this idea in the very first podcast. You're like, this is like who we are and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
That would make sense, yeah.
Hey guys, make sure you're hosting if you're not on on whichever platforms you guys.
Yeah. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Let's get the podcast out there. Let everybody know we're live.
Retweet our tweets.
Tell your friends, your family, your grandparents,
sir.
your teachers,
Grandma, grandpa,
your ant farm.
Your ant farm?
cats.
Guys, there was a fatality in the ant farm community this weekend, and let's just take this moment of silence and remembrance of them.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was like an entire looked like a war crime. There was just bodies everywhere, blood, dismemberment.
Like
It
you
was-
say-
Did you hear it like when it first happened?
No. We were walking by because I think we ordered food and we were gonna come down here and eat and watch TV, and we're walking by his door and like both cats are just like standing by each other, which is really weird anyways, right? Because like UA is hyperactive as fuck, so she just wants to attack Liz whenever she sees her, and then like Liz on the times where UA isn't gonna mess with her and she's just walking by, Liz always has to like smack her. Like she always like she'll just like smack her as she's walking by.
Yeah.
And it's like instigating it a little bit. And so for them to be standing right next to each other and not doing something like that, it's like a red flag. Like some alerts are going off in my head, and then and then Churn is the one that told me that they were in there, and then she's like, they're both in there like looking at the ant farm. I'm like, wait. And so I get up and go look, and then sure enough it got knocked over, and like they're trying to escape their prison.
So you guys didn't actually so you don't know how long it had been tipped over.
I would assume it hadn't been tipped over long, since all the ants were still in that area.
Oh, okay.
Because like I feel like if it had been tipped over for a while, there would have been no ants at all in the area, and they were right there. So I think it just happened.
Wow.
So,
lucky, honestly.
Wonder how many you lost.
Because they're red ants too. They're the ones that actually like bite and sting you.
Oh, yeah, it'd be like asleep and get bit. That would suck. That would actually be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be terrible. But real quick, before we get into it today, guys, if you haven't, make sure that you guys are turning on notifications. If you're on Twitch or Facebook, make sure you guys hit the bell. It's huge. Make sure you guys like, follow, and if you want to go above and beyond, you could go to Twitter and retweet, go to Facebook and share whatever you guys want to do. But help
subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Look, we just got a new follower. That call to action.
See, there we go. Hell yeah. So, anyways, it's good to be back. Last week was kind of my fault. Before we had ever started a podcast, I set up the doctor's appointment, and then because of all the COVID stuff, it's pretty hard to like reschedule. You're like, oh, I need to reschedule. Like, sure, I can get you in August. Like, what? Yeah, there's nothing open for 90 days. So
that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But we're good now, so it's not bad. But I think Stealth is going to tell us a story here.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you guys watch or follow esports Valorant, but pretty huge tournament happened, and it was like an IRL tourney. It wasn't online or anything like that. And there are actually 2 of these tournaments. So the reason why we're bringing this up is because it's got a really interesting story. NA Team 1, Sentinels, if you guys hadn't heard. Let's go, because there's like some beef, some rivalry between
there's always beef,
EU, NA. It's always
person.
And like my understanding is, and this hopefully I'm not incorrect about this. This is just what I had heard. Is that not only did they win, but they like dominated. Like they didn't drop a map apparently. Like they won
it was
every
a 3-0,
map.
the final.
Who's on the team?
I don't know everybody on the team. I just know like the star players that basically. I mean, I wouldn't say carry, but without them, they wouldn't have won.
Right.
And 10Z. It was the MVP. He received the MVP award and all that. Like statistically, he was the best, dominated. And what's crazy about that story is that 10Z is a fill-in
Wait, just
for Sentinels.
oh yeah, this is the guy you're talking about, right? Sinatra.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a second.
Yeah, so it's Sinatra, Shazam.
Yeah, they haven't updated that. Yeah, Shazam's on. Yeah,
Zomsick and Dapper.
yeah. And so Sinatra has a really interesting story because he was supposed to play in there were actually 2 tournaments for Valorant that Sentinels won. Blowouts. Like they didn't lose at all, a map.
Before this.
Well, before this there was 1 and then this makes it 2
Okay.
that they won and they're back to back. And this one was like a big deal because it was out of the country, the first ever.
This is like
Right.
international tournament.
Yeah. And mind you, this game's only been out for a year and it's already like so well like polished. I mean, it's what CS:GO like
Well, it's like
Whatever.
what CS:GO was when it was big.
when it was big, but Riot's actually doing it right. You know what I mean? Like I heard Shroud and them talking about it, and I take their word for it because they played those games, and it's like
Yeah.
this is what it should have been like from the get go.
Like
it's
when you
just
say
so,
when you say that, do you mean this is the way the tournament should have been run? Or
yeah,
this is the
all
way that-
everything like
everything?
the way the tournament looked, the aesthetic appeal, the way the players were positioned, the introductions, like it was just perfect. It was like you thought that they had been running this thing for years,
And this is the first.
and this is the
international
first
tournament.
year
That's pretty
that they
insane.
had done this. Yeah, Riot's it's a big deal. Like for esports, it's huge.
I would just hope that like if there was going to be a company to do this type of thing, right? Riot's a really good one because they already have experience in hosting these giant tournaments because of League, and like League
Yeah.
is just, it's insane to me that like I guess that was like one of the first games, like if you think back, like League of Legends, free to download, play for free, you know, and it's like at that, you know, when it first came out and stuff, kind of like, man, this is kind of a weird business model to have your game be free and then hope that people buy your in-game stuff to make a profit, and like hopefully like this works out. And then you see like a lot of people get addicted to League and they're like, man, I just want to grind, I can't stop, kind of like how we are with like shooters with battle royales. And then it's cool to see nowadays that like we're slowly moving to this like free to play like structure, or like a lot of games are, you know, like Rainbow Six is like super cheap to get into. It's like $6 or something to buy the base game, or $8, something like that. But interesting to see how it like kind of.
Yeah, companies are starting to realize that they can actually make more money by being free to play.
It gets more audience.
It gets more audience, exposure.
Like, wants people to basically download it and actually get a handle of it. Like a lot of people, like if it's a $60 game, they won't buy it and they won't touch
That's why I
on
didn't
it.
buy Resident Evil,
Yep.
Yeah.
because I was like, I didn't hear. I needed like unanimous like 10 out of 10 ratings for me to buy that game.
And the other thing is, it's like the mentality of being free to play. That's, you almost have that bar now for every game that comes out, and it's like, oh, it's not free to play, I'm good, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird. Oh, speaking of free to play, the other battle royale that recently came out, it's like space, and there's like NPCs and players at the same time. Drifters? No, not drifters. Oh man, I
have
can't.
no idea what you're talking about.
It was really
me
big.
neither.
It was really big on Twitch like 2 weeks ago. It was like the debut of it. I was hoping somebody in chat would have put it down, but it's like a battle royale. You're in space. It's a really big map, and there's, in addition to the players that you're fighting, there's also like NPCs. But they just they set the record. They were able to successfully run a match with 4,000 players.
What?
One
In a BR.
One
One
match.
match.
What?
Yeah.
How long did the games last?
Oh my gosh.
It's
bro.
not usually that big, but they did it as like a stress test for their servers, and so they were able to like create a special lobby and let anybody who could join
No
join.
shot,
and they all, I
dude.
guess over 4,000 people joined, and they were able to start the game.
That's insane. Yo, Warzone. I don't know, like,
Oh my!
What?
Warzone, Fortnite, every single BR. Take a look at what they're doing.
I mean, without issues, right? It was
Right.
it was a good start.
Yeah,
You're just trying to look for the name. Anyway, going back to the story.
Yep.
With Sentinels real quick. So, yeah, 10Z is actually, first of all, he came out of retirement.
Isn't he on Cloud 9?
He is on Cloud9. Well, okay. Technically, after yesterday, he signed on a seven-figure deal. Like, Sentinels paid Cloud9 over $1 million
for the contract.
to get him out,
Oh,
and that's
that's
unheard of.
insane.
Like, it's unheard of a player being able to get out of a contract. I mean, we saw the drama with like FaZe and all
Cloaksy.
those Cloaksy, Tfue, and all that.
Nate-
it's a headache.
Nate Shot was like, or I'll tell that story after.
And what's crazy is Cloud9 was actually competing in that tournament too. So they're like, this is risky. We're potentially giving up a play. But I don't think he was a player. That's what's even crazier. He retired from competitive Valorant play and was just like a content creator for them. And some reason, like Sentinels, because of the Sinatra ordeal, they had to suspend him until like the fall. And we'll get into story why, in case you guys haven't heard. But it's been weeks literally for this case because everybody's been following it. And they're like, well, we want to pick up Tenzi because he was at the time when he went to retirement was like the best, right?
Oh, 100%.
And so then they picked him up as like they made this contract. They're like, hey, can we use him? You're not going to use him, whatever. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Probably money involved. And they freaking dominated the first tournament. Like, insane. And this was, guess what? This was 48 hours before the tournament.
That's insane.
They had
no
never
practice.
played, no practice. They had never played together because the allegation came out for Sinatra. His ex-girlfriend, all of a sudden, 48 hours before the tournament, was like, I was sexually assaulted in our relationship like a year ago.
Yeah, and when those allegations come out, like
it's serious.
You don't want to. You don't want to risk like even if your player is telling you like, look, like this is completely absurd, like this never happened, like it's going to be proven to be innocent, but you don't want to be that company that kept him on and then it does get proven that he did do it, and then it's like, wow, you were just letting that guy win money on your team the whole time that this case was going on. We told you that he was guilty, so you gotta like, it's just the smart business move to suspend him, whether or not it ends up being real or not.
It's and Riot even banned Sinatra.
Are you serious?
He straight up banned him from that, and it's still ongoing investigation.
From that event or forever?
Like as far as I know, he's banned. Like he
probably until he is shown to be innocent or whatever.
Yeah. He might have been unbanned now while it's still going on, but like I know that he did get banned.
Wow.
At one point.
That's insane.
And so, the investigation ongoing. He's like, oh yeah. This is like obviously a clear misunderstanding. I'll give you all of the video evidence. Apparently, there's like audio clips of the assault happening and all that stuff, and we can talk about that in a second. But what's crazy about Sinatra's story was that he used to play Overwatch. Back in 2019, he was considered the #1 player, greatest of all time of Overwatch. He won the 2 major tournaments and got MVP awards for both. And that no other players ever received both awards in the same year. That's and he was nuts. The first one. And right after that, like he went on to, articles and like interviews and on TV and stuff like that.
This is Sinatra.
Okay. He said, I'm done. He at his peak, when he accomplished all that, he just left and went to Valorant. And now he's insane at Valorant. And they're totally different games. Oh,
yeah, for sure. Like, Valorant is, like, nothing like any other game. Like, we went through a phase where we were playing it a lot. I think if we had, like, a consistent 5 stack to play, like, we might have continued to play it. Mm-hmm. But it is a completely different beast. Like, it's not even a shooter. It's chess. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Like, your reaction time definitely matters, but, like, positioning, the timing, the plays, like... is way more important than like I would say than your overall like gun skill, right? Because there's probably pros that don't have the best shot, but they have great game awareness.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
I mean, there's a lot of pros in any sport. They go off to like major championships, like rings, and they just at their peak they retire. Because like a lot of people, they want to retire as the best.
Yeah,
they don't want to go on another few seasons.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like Anderson Silva.
It's crazy to me, and probably part of it is like because he was the best, he was bored, and like people are motivated to try and get better. For that, they like want that drive, they want that motivation, right? The challenge.
Well, especially like a pro player, because like that they kind of like live off of that. Like,
yeah,
you see these players that are. Clearly not doing it for the money anymore. Like Aiden is a good example, right? That kid is loaded. He has tons of money. He's not hurting for cash at all. He's not competing in these tournaments to make money. He's competing in these tournaments for that like competition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if nobody's like really, holding up to you at all anymore, it would get boring, right? Like.
Yeah, I would imagine. But
that's
yeah,
insane.
That's pretty much it. I mean, Tenzi came in to replace him. And they just.
So you think they're going to permanently replace him?
Dominated. I think so. Tens is definitely part of the team now. Like they bought him, but I think Sinatra's would have been in that spot. Like I think he would have been the MVP.
Yeah.
If
So they're gonna
it
keep
was,
them
if
both,
it wasn't,
potentially?
it's gonna be nuts when he comes back. Yeah.
Well, it sucks if you're one of the other guys in the middle and you're like, cool.
Yeah, one of them's gonna be the
He'll
lowest.
he'll either he might end up being a coach or like a
just
fill,
sub.
a
Yeah.
sub.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
subs like what is it like even in like the NFL if you're like the backup quarterback and you almost never ever get any like time on the field, you still get paid almost the same amount. Like
100%. I mean, there's
It's
like
crazy.
NBA six mans that turn out to. I mean, they have an award for the best six man. In the NBA.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Six man of the year. Yeah.
Sixth man, like the bench guy.
Yeah. The sub. they're like.
Really?
So you have your starting
That's
five, and then
nuts.
you have the one that comes in. Six man.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's and most of them get paid a lot. So I mean, being the sub and then just working on content creation while you're not having to. I mean, he's probably still gonna have to like practice and stuff. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's a bad. I don't think as long as you don't let your ego get in the way. Like, well, you guys benched me, so I'm going to a team that really wants me and
Yeah.
like will appreciate my skill. Like as long as that kind of shit doesn't happen, like. I mean, understanding that like clearly this guy's the best in the game, like he has to go on, and you have performed the the worst maybe in the last 3 tournaments or whatever. So
Mhm.
If
But-
anything, it like kind of drives you to get a starting spot.
yeah, exactly. What I was gonna tell you guys about? Have you ever heard this story like with Nate Shot?
No.
Uh,
Well, it
so
depends on what story. I don't know.
Yeah.
okay, well, when we were talking about contracts and players getting out of it, so Nate Shot clearly like comes from being a very big competitive Call of Duty player,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, I don't know exactly what year that this ended or whatever, but he had ended up signing a deal to be 100% on MLG TV. So MLG was going to launch their own like streaming thing, and so they were going to have people streaming on there and streaming competitive games. It's going to be this whole thing, and so I guess he got stuck there, and then he is basically like buried because has anybody in any of these chats ever gone to MLG to watch a stream? Like you don't do that, right? And so he was just like kind of buried over there, and he's stuck by his contract, and he couldn't get out of it and stuff. And so eventually he was able to finally like get out of his MLG contract after years.
Yeah.
And then he went to Twitch, and the day that he went to Twitch, at that time, he set the record for the longest sub train. And it was like thousands and thousands
That's
of
crazy.
subs.
That's nuts.
And like that, you see that happening kind of regularly now with some of these big guys. But like this was way back. Like this is like probably like I don't know. I want to say like 4 years ago or something, or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but he's just imagine like signing a contract and then just getting trapped forever. Like that would suck, right? It's
Contracts are scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but they can be so good too. Like
Yep.
any one of us would pick up a contract, right? Like major org or something, probably.
Yeah, like I mean,
It's a no-brainer.
As long as it makes sense, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I think the moral is like, hey, before you sign a contract, maybe review it completely.
Oh,
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer to
read
look at it.
Yeah.
And maybe don't allow there to be anything in there that's like until we decide to break the contract.
Until death. Yeah.
Oh my!
Imagine.
Yeah. Until you die, you belong to us. Just sign here, please. Right here.
Actually, blood fingerprint. So we need your DNA.
Yeah, it's scary. And then there's something like Cloaksy, and then they finally it was like a big deal, And so, and then there's a whole controversy with like Tifu and everything, and like how he was saying that they were like taking money and stuff. But like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Did we ever even truly find out what the contract was?
Well, there was a misinterpretation for one because they were saying that it was saying that they took 50% of all of Tifu's brand deals, but people who didn't really understand what that meant thought that they were taking 50% of all of Tifu's money.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically what they thought. But they're only taking 50% of, and 50% may
deals
not
that
even
they
be, it
brought
may,
to him.
might have been 40, but yeah, it was only deals that they got him.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we got you a $100,000 deal with Nike.
Yeah.
And then they took a cut out of that, but he wouldn't have had any of that money if they didn't get it for him.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of scary.
But
Outriders is that game.
Outriders.
Outriders.
Never even heard of that game actually.
I heard of it. I didn't really watch it, but
Yeah, it's a battle royale, and they're the ones that got all those players without any issues, I guess. So supposedly, but
Interesting.
speaking of Sinatra getting banned from Valorant as a
Mhm.
riot, I don't think what. Why do you ban somebody based on allegations? I could see like a company like
well, what if they
Sentinels.
maybe it's like Like, what if they unban him whenever he's found like?
But why ban him?
Well, maybe
they haven't proved anything.
Maybe it's
I can see a team suspending him from not playing, but banning him from a game based on allegations.
Because there's going to be people out there that are going to associate him not being banned to him support that, like the company supporting sexual abuse.
And you're saying like I can see the team not allowing him to play in the tournament, right? But why is the game company banning him? Well, then at that point you're basically just you're just saying that the responsibility for this to be handled correctly should lie on like the organization or whatever, when it should be up to the tournament organizer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there might be a thing in like the tournament that says that if you're a banned player, you can't compete, right? So then to avoid any type of loopholes or anything like that, like if we ban him until we find out what happened, then he can't
it's
play
just the
because
safe route.
I see.
Yeah, so I think that might be it.
It's crazy though, because he's had like in-game like cosmetics or emotes or something from Overwatch that people have like paid money and stuff, and like it's going all the way back to that now. Like they might pursue him for like a refund, and like there's just a lot that might happen if it's found that he's guilty. Dude, it's nuts. It's nuts.
That is crazy.
Just be careful. I mean, like it's like be careful. Obviously, don't do stupid stuff like that. But like if that's what happened, but also you got to be careful with like who you trust, because some people could just lie, and then all of this will just pause your momentum. It could ruin your entire career, even if it didn't.
Sure.
If it wasn't even true.
Yep. What do you guys think about false allegations?
Oh no, I think that person should be responsible 100%. If
it comes out that they're fake,
yep,
they should have jail time.
Yeah, why not? Like you're gonna like the thing is like if somebody comes out and they're like so and so sexually assaulted me, immediately that person's reputation and their image gets like bruised a little bit, right? Even if like right after that it comes out that they're innocent, people are still gonna be like, oh, isn't that the guy that was like accused of sexual assault?
I mean, even there's still cases that came out. I don't know. They went to jail for 14 years, and they come back to the case and it turns out to be false. You ruined that man's life for 14 years.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so like, if it does come out,
you can't get that back.
No.
Yeah, you can't ever get that back. That's insane. Like, if it comes out that they are innocent, then like the person who falsely accused should be held 100% responsible. Like that's. You're running somebody's life like that, It's serious, but they just think it's like,
they think it's minor because we haven't really corrected that.
What?
I don't think we don't have any like
the people who falsely accuse.
We don't have any.
There's no repercussions.
For that. They have no repercussions.
Are there not?
No.
You sure? I'm pretty sure.
No, there could be now, but there.
Well, it's always been a thing. You can't like false report. Like you can't. Like that's always been a crime.
Right, but if a guy spends 14 years in prison and then it comes out that he's innocent.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not like the value is not the same for sure. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's tough, right? Like there is no real answer to this because unless the investigation is just really fast and thorough. But it's like, what happens when the cases are real? Like, you know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah, I definitely believe in them having to like repay that in some way, But it's crazy to me that people think that it's okay, right? Or that there's not going to be any backlash from it, right? Another thing is like with that summit just recently got swatted again.
Are you serious?
Really?
Yeah, he tweeted out, he's like, I must be the most swatted streamer that it like doesn't allow it to happen like live or something, because like he I guess he showed up and he was getting swatted and he like ended his stream and went through the whole process, and then he just like got back on. He's like, what is wrong with you people? Like you're basically risking somebody getting shot or killed. Like if it's handled incorrectly by me or my family in any way, like somebody could die. Yeah. And you guys just think it's totally okay to do that. Like it's nuts.
They probably won't get caught either.
There has to be a way for them to get caught.
It's really tough. Because we had swattings too. I was personally, when I was working at the police department, I went to a swatting.
Oh,
and happened? it was a streamer. Like he was playing a video game.
Really?
Yeah, and it was I don't remember any of the details. I didn't get his name or anything, but I remember vividly like hearing the call, like this guy was gonna kill like the mom and daughter or something. and he was in the basement. We went in there. It's like this huge mansion, and like because where I worked, all the houses are huge.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and we were like, it was all tactical and stuff, but ended up just being this kid just playing video games. It was so weird. And then it's like you can't really trace it. It's not like the TV shows where, you know.
Yeah, like you'd have to be like prepared for the call, right?
You'd
like,
have to be
trace
ready
it.
for it, yeah. And then it's just like just calling into dispatch for a crime. Like
That
this
is crazy.
yeah.
And they just think it's okay because like, oh well, I haven't gotten in trouble so far, so it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
But you're playing with people's lives right there, you know.
100%.
Yeah, if you guys ever get anybody swatted, you're a terrible person. Just saying that right now.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, like, it'd be so scary, right? Imagine they like just break down your door. Like, oh wait, so like when you were a part of it and you were doing it, was that like like a break down the door, like everybody down type thing, or was it like a
So it's like, no, I mean, the way it came out, and I mean, I don't think we handled it wrong, but it was just like we had the inclination that it was a swatting because it was just like so over the top, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Just like too much. And so we just
from a
approached
movie.
it. Yeah, and we approached it, and we went there first, and you know, SWAT was getting ready and stuff, but like we had to go there first because it's an immediate issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we just knocked on the door and did our protocol. I mean, it wasn't like kicked down the door or anything like that, but going off topic, like whenever SWAT intervenes, like first, it's like usually like a hostage situation where there's a little bit more time to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like us that are on the road have to go to it first. Like a school shooting or something, it's like us just right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, versus like if somebody calls in, it's like, yo, I think this guy's being kidnapped. Like he's like barricaded in. He's got hostages. We're not going to go in. It'll be like the SWAT team.
Man,
And that's where like
I heard
door
stories of
breaking
like
down.
people getting swatted and them like breaking furniture and like checking like, you know, behind drawers and under beds, and like they just like break shit because they're looking for like whether, you know, because they have a tip that you're a fucking terrorist or something.
Yeah.
And so they're just like breaking all your stuff. But then I heard that they don't reimburse you or pay for any of that. Is that true?
I don't know.
If you were like, if you went into like a house and like maybe the
No.
altercation got physical and you broke a table, you break a table, does the police department end up paying for that table for that guy?
I mean, I think it might be like the government would reimburse, like the local government. Like the city would,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the city funds the police. I'm pretty sure. Like that would make sense to me. It wouldn't make sense like
That would be messed if they didn't.
that would be freaking messed up, bro.
They're like cutting your couch like with a knife.
yeah, because they do that, like search warrants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you so if you get a search warrant for you got a tip that he's like a drug dealer, right? And
Narcotics,
it's for drugs. It can be tiny. You literally have the right to basically strip down the entire house. You could break down the drywall, like everything. And so if that were the case and it was fake, bro, like, oh my god,
I mean,
that'd be a lawsuit though for sure.
Oh
If
yeah.
anything, that'd be civil for sure.
I've seen some videos on TikTok where they hide drugs in like fence posts.
Yeah,
Oh, I believe that.
It's
That is-
insane.
I'm
that's
not
pretty
even-
wild.
I'm not even surprised by that, honestly. Like,
Tires, gas tanks. It's
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, these people that are getting caught.
oh, they said the camera's frozen.
What?
no way.
Bro, we gotta get this.
Give me to reset it.
Hold on. Yeah, turn it off.
Wait.
Wait.
It's black now. Yeah, reset it.
Apologies, guys. We're not really sure what causes it to do this. It only happens like sometimes, but it's kind of strange.
Are we back or no?
No, I think I have to unplug.
Yeah. Oh,
This
turn it off.
guy. And then
Hold on. Let him turn it off real quick before you plug it in.
okay.
Is it off?
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
We're back. Sorry about
Ladies
that,
and
guys.
gentlemen.
We're back.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah.
I was talking about like, it's crazy to me how like these guys are getting caught. I mean, obviously like criminals generally aren't smart, right? and they just like put it in the glove box. But like,
Yeah.
there's so many places you could put it in your car that we're not gonna find. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm not.
Could even put
anymore,
it like.
But,
Can you just like put it? You could put it like in your shoe too, right?
well,
Um,
I mean, we search shoes, but yeah.
don't they? So
For like a routine traffic stop or something.
what's a
Well, if we smell the drug, like if it's weed,
yeah?
then I'm gonna search
Because you have
the
probably
car, and
laws,
I'm gonna
right?
search you after.
You would have them
everything.
take their shoes off and stuff too.
Yeah, like
Okay.
socks, shoes, all
Okay.
that. Yeah, hats, belts, all that.
There is some other places you
Pretty
could hide though,
thorough.
right? Like you could, you know, you
On you wouldn't be able to unless
No.
it was inside your cavity.
But you could like pop like.
I'm not gonna check that, I'll
in
be
the
honest with
car. In the car though, like there's so many like better than the glove box, you know.
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, people put it in the dashboard, but I mean, I've seen people.
I've
where they've
ripped
gotten
off.
Caught.
Huh?
The people that get caught like putting it in the dashboard or
Yeah, there's some people that are super thorough. Like, if you have an inclination, like the history was really long, like, okay, this guy might have like a lot of stuff. Or if you start seeing like indicators like scales and a lot of baggies, and you're like, okay, there's probably a lot somewhere in this car.
right.
I'm gonna start ripping off the plastic on your car. Like I've done that.
Yep.
Like you'll feel it. So when it's manufactured on, the first time you try to rip it off, it'll be really hard. After you open it up once, it'll be really easy and it'll never be the same. So you can tell by wiggling stuff. And so if it's like easily movable, it's like, okay, then I'm gonna open this kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
Also, when you have a drug dog, usually they can like pinpoint.
Oh, I heard the dogs are like really good. Like they're
Oh yeah,
insane.
ours was nuts. Yeah.
Like they can like detect it like in a baggie, inside of a baggie.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
duct taped inside of a jar that's in a box. That's duct taped shut. They're like, it's in there. Like it's in there.
Inside a black hole.
Yeah, it's in there. Right there. Right there. That's it. Yep. Right there.
Imagine it had a laser pointer on its port, just like circling the area.
The cops are just looking at the drug dealer. He's just looking at the dog like he's lying. I don't know what he's talking about. That dog's all fucked up. I don't know. He's on drugs, honestly, because I don't have anything.
The guy's like, I don't know. Dogs are.
You seen that episode of a Family Guy where Brian becomes a drug dog, but then he gets addicted to
What?
cocaine because like.
Oh yeah, dude, I've seen
Yeah,
clips
and
of
he's
that.
like all freaking out. He's like, I gotta get another hit. Like, he's just, like one
Let
of
me
these-
find it.
Yeah, like these drug dogs, man, they get put through it. So
They do though, cause like contact buzzing, right?
Mhm.
I was gonna say yeah.
It's gotta hit them. They've gotta like
Oh, I wouldn't.
how
like,
sensitive their nose.
I wouldn't be surprised. They would have to. Besides, yeah, like it being so sensitive, they probably don't even like have to get super close for it to like really affect them, right? Like just a little bit in the air, like anything.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, they have dogs for everything. I mean, when I took that fire or arson investigation class, they had dogs to smell gasoline.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I think it's neat that we kind of utilize dogs like that. You know, like you see
Mhm.
people who train dogs to be just like guards. You
Mhm.
know, and they're so well trained. I saw this like video of this Russian dude who is like training German shepherds, and they have like command words, and they'll follow him like right next to his legs, like when they're walking. They walk in like tandem with him and stuff, and on command, and they can say another command word and they stop,
Yeah.
and then another command word is like guard, and they'll like it's crazy. It's pretty nuts. It'd be cool to like learn how to do that.
That would be sweet.
I mean, I took my dog to like a training camp, and they didn't do anything with him.
I mean, but look at you.
Huh?
What?
Your dog's older though. Like they have
No,
to
he
do
was
that
a
when they're.
puppy.
Oh really? Like
Yeah.
newborn kind
It was like one. I
Well-
mean, it's still like.
of. Oh, even younger than that.
Was
bro.
he?
I mean, I teach him stuff better than they.
Was he different when he came back at all?
I mean, when I first picked him up, it was kind of almost sad because he was like so different. He was just so chill and like seemed like he was just exhausted.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I just hope they didn't treat him wrong.
Like what? It just like cuts over. They're just like whooping all these dogs and then charging you for it. Like I could see that being a thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
people are like you see like the nanny cams of like babysitters like beating people's kids, and
Yeah.
then like I don't know, he just like was really weird tonight. It's like got his ass beat by the babysitter,
Yeah.
and then they only catch him because they have a camera. Like that's scary.
Yo, I want to move the conversation a little bit, like to the polar opposite of the world right now.
Okay.
If
Polar
we're
opposite
good.
of the world. Yeah.
So like, have you guys heard about the like Aladdin theory, the
the
movie?
Aladdin theory.
No.
No.
Okay, so this is gonna just like take us places. Okay, I don't know if you guys have other stuff
You're
you
gonna
want to
paint a picture.
Yeah. So like, all right. Well, not really, but
Oh no.
Aladdin, right?
Okay.
Like in your mind when you watch that movie or you recall it, you guys have all seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's,
think-
it's
you think
one
it-
of my favorite Disney movies.
You think of it as like pastime, right?
Yeah. You think of it
Like
as
like before
Yeah.
our time.
Yeah.
There's a theory that it is actually post-apocalyptic,
interesting.
and
Tell
all
us
of
more.
because what the hell's the genie's name?
Genie.
No way. It's Genie?
Genie.
Okay, whatever. Genie makes references in the movies about knowing stuff in the past, like microphones, neon signs, all this stuff that
cars.
everything, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. There's an Aladdin game that came out. In the background of one of the settings, you can see a nuclear bomb inside of water.
Okay. Interesting.
And Disney does that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're
Okay.
smart and they're
That's a little weird.
So think now it just changed
Honestly,
everything.
it makes sense.
Yeah, and
it
so it's
makes
like all desert and
Yeah.
so much like
Like Egyptian type.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now, all of that brings us to the gosh dang it, bro. What is it called? That secret organization with the pyramid. Oh, the
Illuminati?
Illuminati, but what's the other word for it? The Illuminati, and it's like the M.
Not the stonemasons.
The Masons. Masons.
Stonemasons.
Yeah,
is that right? Or,
I don't know if
no
it's
idea.
a stonemason or the Masons. The Freemasons.
Freemasons.
The Freemasons.
Yeah, stonemasons.
Yeah, I don't know what. All right, the Masons, right? They're all like, they're everywhere, bro. On our dollar bill.
Yeah.
Why do we still have? Why on the American dollar bill do we have a pyramid? What about pyramids have to do with American history?
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah, no,
Egypt.
it is kind of weird.
That's really weird. The eye thing is on there too. What's even crazier, and I'm gonna pull this up. And I'm gonna show you.
Or like it's just normal now. Like we've become so used to it.
Yeah,
we
why
don't even
hasn't it
question-
changed?
We just don't even question it anymore.
The dollar bill. Okay, like you won't really. I mean, if you want to walk over here, I'll show you this. It's crazy. So if you look at the dollar bill and
You could
create,
even grab the image real quick if you wanted and put it on the stream so people can see it. They're watching.
I could. All right, what? Download, save image as.
Save image. Just save it to like your desktop.
Okay, and then pull it up here. Image. Browse. This would be easier just to do. Let's see, downloads. Wait, is it in desktop?
Where did you download
Wait,
it?
where did I download it to? Let me just do it again, so I can see where it goes. Oh, under downloads. Dollar. Okay. Now, like, look at this thing. This is on the dollar bill, right? If you create a upside down, what's that? Is it the Jordan star? In
The Star of Jordan. It's like the
Star of David or whatever.
Star of David.
If you do it upside down, right here.
You can do it. You can flip it upside down.
Well, I mean, okay. I don't know if they can see the cursor, but M. Wait, how does it? And then MO S A. Wait.
It's
MASO. It spells Mason somehow. I was watching this while we were working out. So
It'd be M
A.
and then the S.
No, S right here.
Oh, S.
N O
O
N.
N.
Or wait,
There's an N right here.
N somehow. Okay, but it
Yeah.
spells Mason.
Oh, but
It's-
it does it by making the star. Is what you're saying.
By making the star perfectly, it spells out
For
Mason.
anybody who's if you're listening and not watching,
Yeah.
basically if you flip your dollar over and you look on the back, you have the pyramid that says Novus Ordo Sec something. It disappeared, but he's saying that the letters, if you were to make like the little star, they would basically spell out the word Mason. which is-
Super weird stuff, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
Like, why is that on our dollar bill? What do you think?
Yeah, it's I mean, there has to be some kind of truth to like the whole like Illuminati, like hidden government. Like,
I mean, it's especially after I listened to that podcast with Bob Lazar.
Yeah, I mean, secrets,
You have
man.
to listen to it.
You have to listen to
13,
that.
15.
I'll
It's
be honest,
nuts.
I don't even know why I haven't listened to it yet, but I will.
I don't know why you.
13
It's literally
episode 13, 15.
probably one of the best podcasts that he's done.
Okay,
It's one of the most viewed.
I'm gonna check it out.
And like so there I don't know if you guys, I don't remember what season it was, but on American Idol this guy won, right? And he was invited to join the Illuminati, like the Masons group,
Yeah.
Wait, how do you know? How do we know that?
because he made a video explaining why he didn't like exposing them, like this is everything, it's really effed up.
Oh, when did he die?
He died like the next day.
See, I knew he died.
He died
I
the
knew
next
He died.
he died the next day in a suicide car crash.
No, see, I knew he died.
Bro, I didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
what?
No, you said that. I was like, he didn't even say it yet.
Dude,
No, I'm like, oh yeah, he died.
a
for
3-hour video like exposing them.
Where's the video at?
I
It's
don't know.
gone
I
now.
don't know.
It's
I
deleted now?
gotta look it up. But yeah, dude,
Bro,
it's
that's
nuts.
scary. I forget, as soon as you were like, yeah, he exposed him. Like, oh, that's sorry for his family.
Death
Like,
sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Holy.
So talking about like conspiracies like that, have you ever heard the like Clinton theory? Like
Maybe.
All right,
No.
so there's a list. It's like the Clinton list or whatever, but it's this like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
right? List of people who have like ever gotten close to like maybe hurting their image or like going against like something that they were like really trying to do and stuff. There's this whole list, you can look this up, of people who have mysteriously died around them.
Like
Suicides, car crashes,
Clintons.
around the Clintons. There's a whole list, and all of these people like
I believe
died after like, oh yeah, he's gonna like vote against this thing that they're trying to like pass, and it's like, oh, he died.
What?
I wonder
Yeah.
if they're part of the. There were a lot of presidents that were like
I bet.
I
like
bet a lot
part of the
presidents are
group.
part of-
a lot of famous people are like, you can see pictures of them doing like the symbol or whatever.
Weird.
It's
what's
a
the
weird
symbol?
underground
That's
society.
called gang signs stuff.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah, the
symbol?
blood sign.
He's like
It's
he's
like
he's like Tupac was doing it.
yo, I'm just kidding. The president of Illuminati symbol. I'll do it real
That's
quick.
insane to think about how many secrets that we have been kept.
Just,
I mean,
like just Google like all right, here I'm gonna do it real quick. It says
wait, is it? This is freaking Beyonce doing it. The triangle.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm also gonna take this another step further in a second, but yo, and like the Freemason symbol. This is another thing. Okay, look at this. Look at this.
yeah.
Here, I'll pull it up on stream as well.
Also, why is this like in the Colorado or in the Denver airport? Have you seen that?
No, I mean this thing's everywhere. That's crazy. This is on our freaking Apple App Store. It's the symbol for our App Store.
Wait, what?
Wait, is it?
Pull up your phone right now. Look at it, bro.
Is it? Hold on.
Yes.
Let me see this. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Like it's like
It's like a very similar-
it's like similar. It's like similar.
And it's an-
yeah.
and
I get it's similar. It's they're
it's similar. It's similar.
similarities.
It's similar. And all right. Gary's going to the bathroom.
Like there's a thing here. It's like it's called the Clinton's blood trail.
Oh, my
And it's literally
gosh.
like it talks about all these like different people. I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but there's like just a whole like list of people who have just like went missing, died, accidents, and they're always like surrounded. Like they always like had something to do with like the Clintons before that. It's really weird.
This is apparently one of the symbols. Drake's doing it.
Oh,
And
I
then-
see.
And then this like pyramid. It's weird, bro.
I see.
It's really weird.
Weird. And there's a friend of mine back home. She graduated with a master's in like political like science.
Sciences,
So
yeah.
like she's
Poli-sci.
she's all into like politics, right?
Yeah.
Knows every like can have like crazy discussions about this stuff. But like one of the final papers that she had to do, they like I guess they got to pick the topic. There was like some kind of requirement, but they basically got to pick their thing. So this was a while ago, and so she ended up doing. She ended up deciding to do her paper on September 11th. Okay, so she's like doing a bunch of research. She's like traveling, going places, and like doing this research and like looking at stuff, not just on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And she's like midway working on this for however many weeks she's been doing it or whatever, because it's like for the final. She gets a letter in the mail to her address that is a cease and desist.
No way.
Yeah, and so they
from
like,
who?
From the government. I was like, stop looking stuff up about this.
What?
Yeah, and so she like got out of her final because she just gave that to her teacher, and that was it.
What was the final over?
They had to write this like really long in-depth paper, but they got to pick their topic.
Yeah.
And there was like one requirement for the topic, but it fell under it, so she decided to do it on September 11th.
Oh.
And so while she was researching, she gets a
There's
season.
a lot of conspiracy theories about 9/11.
Oh, there is.
A shitload.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I'm not like
We
a
talked
conspiracy
on it.
theorist,
Yeah.
but it's like some of the stuff that have come up is like, man, I don't know.
You want to see? Okay, you want to see one of them? Like, it's literally one thing I can show you.
Yeah.
And it will make you like really question the whole thing. Is if you look up.
It's like the government like just shuts our internet right here. Boom.
So
I got some. Remind me about something about researching and Bob Lazar.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring that up.
okay,
after
so
this.
if you search September 11th Pentagon damage, okay, you get an image here of what the like what the building looked like after it got hit, right?
Yeah.
You're telling me that a plane crashed into this building and there isn't a single piece of a plane anywhere? There is not a wing, there's not a seat, there's not
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures, and if you guys are listening, you can look this up for yourself just so you know I'm not bullshitting you. Go and look at the picture. There, you can look at every single picture. There is not a single like piece of evidence that says that there was an aircraft anywhere near this explosion, but they say the plane crashed into the Pentagon.
What if? Okay, wait. Is that the Pentagon?
Yes, that is the damage from it. They like a lot of like.
Wait, were there people killed in that explosion?
I would assume, but I don't actually.
That'd
know.
be hella sus if there wasn't, right? Like if they evacuated that area.
That'd be
Like, oh, just miraculously we had that a section. They had day off. Like what?
Yeah.
Be nuts, right?
Oh, this has been searched before.
I guarantee it.
125 at the Pentagon.
Okay. So people died.
Okay, yeah. So like the like popular theory for this specific thing is that it wasn't actually a plane. Also, there's no witnesses that actually say that have testified that said that they like actually saw a plane.
Okay.
All right, but the popular theory is that it was actually a cruise missile, and they said it was a plane. I don't know what. There's like some more like supporting stuff. There was a guy who did an interview. He worked at a gas station near the Pentagon, and so I guess like all of the like businesses that are even close to it have to have like full surveillance and like because they deal with like government people all the time and stuff. So he said that he did a video and he said that right after it happened, he didn't see it. He just heard the like explosion. He said like within 5 minutes of it happening, there was like a team of people who came to the gas station and they took all the video footage.
No.
They took it all. Every little bit. There's no video footage of it at all. It's hella sketch. I watched so many things on this, and it's like real weird. There's another one where if you look at the plane that hit the first tower, or it might be the second plane. They said that all the flights that were hijacked were Boeing 757s, right? You go and you look at every Boeing 757 that has ever been made. They're all commercial airlines, so they have like windows along the sides for passengers to look out. If you zoom in on the second plane that's like hitting,
No windows.
there's no windows on the plane. There's no windows. There's never been a Boeing 757 with no windows.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Dude.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's so weird. The Bob Lazar thing, all right? Because this is what brought it up. Because you're like saying, the government's watching, whatever. During this documentary that they made about Bob Lazar, they go off-site, like somewhere in the woods. No technology. They left their phones. Like there's nothing on them.
Mm-hmm.
And except the camera.
Okay.
And it's like it's not connected to the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
They're filming, and he's like, "Listen, we won't put this part in or not. I have to ask you. Did you take element 115? Like, did you steal it while you were working there?" And element 115 is like the main base element that's like doesn't exist. And this is the element that he had like predicted, or he like the 30 years ago when he came out and he was like, this is all the shit that is going on under the government. And like I can prove it to you. Like they have this element 115, which is like the base structure for this the engine or whatever that's flying and operating the ship, the alien spacecraft that I was working on. And they're like, oh, that's bullshit. There is no element 115. Well, years later, it came out discovery of element 115. But it was like a specific like isotope version of it, and we haven't figured it out yet.
So we can't like utilize it really?
No. But it is all the characteristics
we
of...
We have isotopes of like unstable, right?
Unstable, but it's like a perfectly stable 115.
Yeah, we don't have one that's
so it
stable.
validates his story like as years turn out. So like that's why this podcast is getting more and more popular.
Interesting.
The Netflix documentary that came out a couple years ago, it's like explaining all this. But more evidence shows that Bob Lazar wasn't lying. Like more stuff's coming out, right? So anyway, when he asked that question the next day, and this is 30 years later from the like when he came out, and like the government's been on him and stuff, but it's 30 years later, his house was raided by more organizations than he can name, literally.
After they were in the woods.
After they were in the woods, and he asked that question the next day.
Who was it that asked the question?
It was the documentary guy.
I
the
see.
Beard dude. I forget his name. The guy that made the...
Wait, so they did, but then they did end up using it afterwards? Because they said that they weren't going to...
No, there's nothing else after that. It just like it was just him asking the question, and then he didn't answer. He didn't say yes or no.
Gotcha. But then he got raided.
He got raided. I think he has it somewhere. I think he has 115 hidden somewhere.
Bro, imagine you have like the only... Like, imagine that element 115 is like some like revolutionary, like then bumps us up to like the next level. And
It is. It absolutely is. And he describes what it can do, right? So like the way the ship operates, you know, everything's like jet propelled, like it's fuel going in and shooting it out the back, and then we're moving forward. Yeah. Cars, planes, everything, right?
Right.
The way this plane, like spaceship operated was it would start on its stomach, whatever, it would go straight up, and then it would belly first the direction that it wanted to go, and it would just shoot forward. And how it was doing that, there was no fuel, there was no exhaust. It was bending the space in front of it. And so think of it like a bowling ball on a bed, and when you put weight down like next to the bowling ball, it'll start rolling towards it.
Yeah.
It would do that in the direction that it wanted to go. He was saying that if we could like harness this energy, we would be able to bend time, manipulate time, like create force fields, like things that can't penetrate.
Weird.
Think about that.
Yeah.
It's freaking insane, dude.
It is insane.
Yeah.
And like, so how did they get the first, like, let's
There's
say
9 crafts. You're talking about how they get the airplanes?
Well,
or
no, I was
UFOs?
just saying like, cause we're right now we're speculating that like he has it and he's hiding it somewhere, right? But that's the only stable version.
Yeah.
How did they get that one stable version? Like
because they found it with the ships, right?
It was
I see.
It's like
it was the reactor.
Fuel.
It was the reactor that powered the ship, and that's what he was told to investigate and reverse engineer. Yep. There was a group of scientists, different teams, right? And they're all assigned different parts, so they didn't really know what they were working on, unless they're all working.
How would you feel about that? If you're an expert in your field or whatever, and they're like, hey, we just need you to look into this one thing here, and we're not giving you any information as anything related to this. We just need you to work on this one thing. Tell us what you find out. And you're like, don't have any other information. How'd you feel about that?
I was off topic, but so the same government. I was thinking about this, and I wasn't really like understanding what you were saying, but so the same government that has him working on the ship and the same engine that fuels it, the way it's set up is they're in different cells. So one cell does not know all the information as every single. So it's basically the security for the government.
Yeah, split up. They don't want anybody knowing any more information than they need to.
They don't want
to investigate their job. Yeah, to complete their job.
It's crazy because it's the same thing that terrorist groups go by. They work in cells.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is. That's
Yeah.
pretty nuts. Like, okay. Just to like pose a different viewpoint, right? Let's say like with this technology, right? Like, what if they weren't like, what if there's like another side to it, and there's a reason why they weren't releasing it, or like the government isn't like telling us about it, or the government isn't like, what if there's like more to the story, like something dangerous with it, and that's why they're not really. Because, like, why hasn't the government told us that this element that we discovered is, like, missing? You know, like, if he did steal it or whatever, right? Because the government hasn't come out and said, like...
Well, okay. So, basically, you're saying it's, like, the only element 115, right? I don't think it's the only one. Like, because
you just think it's one of them?
It's one of... They have 9 spacecrafts, is what he said.
Okay.
So, just one of them.
So, he has one.
And they're all different shapes, different sizes. Kind of weird.
Oh, I wonder if he just doesn't... Man, like, okay, it's like with like gasoline, right? Even if you have gasoline, you can't really utilize gasoline for like fuel to do something without all the other pieces that allow you to like burn it in an engine, right?
Right.
So like, I wonder, like, what the other pieces are that are able to like, because you have to have like an engine to use 115, right, for these like spacecrafts.
Yeah.
So is there anything else within those spacecrafts that
there
like
has to be?
So I think I don't want to like say something wrong, but I think you're thinking that he stole the reactor. I don't think he stole the reactor. I think he stole like a small
Just
part
a bit of the
element,
but
and
like,
the whole ship is made out of 115.
Wait,
Think of it like that.
What?
Wait.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not like a
Okay,
material made of this
You didn't
world.
say that before. That's not how I understood it. I understood that we had a ship.
It's not made out of like metal. It's like a.
Well, he doesn't know. He
doesn't know.
It's like a metal or a ceramic.
Yeah, it's not of this world though.
No.
And so I think it's all 115.
What if it's
Wait,
if
how
115
is the ship made out of 115? And also, isn't the reactor like use element 115 as a fuel?
I don't know. Maybe 115 is the fuel.
No, so that's how I took it when you said that originally. I was thinking like 115 is what they use to move.
Yeah.
But
Power it.
I'm talking about like all the pieces required in order to utilize that as your way to move. Like within that ship, like what else is in there that we don't have, right? So 115 was in there. We don't have that. So like, what if there is a different metal that we don't have?
He said the only thing that he recognized was literally a ladder hatch.
That was the only thing that he would recognize in the ship. There was no right angles anywhere.
Yep.
It was really small. It was built for a very, very small creature, being whatever.
And everything was wireless. There was no wires.
There was
everything was interacting wirelessly.
Yep. It was nuts. The way he described it, he drew it too, and like, I don't know.
But he also said,
So you don't think he's crazy?
no,
I'm
not
just-
at
I'm just-
all.
a lot
Awesome.
of these vehicles
Not
that we
at
have,
all.
they put off energy as that the chemical reaction of how we move.
Yeah.
But it has no heat, no nothing when it moves.
Yeah, it was very efficient.
Oh, weird.
Everything,
Zero heat.
Everything like produces
Heat.
energy,
Computers,
produces
phones,
heat. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's just
Microphones.
energy
output.
output. That's just basic physics,
Yeah.
right? This thing was so efficient, even though it was powering an entire spaceship, there was like no heat.
Crazy. It's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
I just wonder why we have like how long it'll be. Like, do you think they'll ever get to a point where they'll make it like open to the public?
Well, they're going to, right? Like the Geneva Convention or whatever what that is.
What is it?
Wait, is that the same thing?
Wait,
I don't know. Maybe I'm
what'd
just
you
spinning
say?
stuff out. The Geneva Convention isn't that like where the government has to like tell us all the information or whatever?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, I don't actually know. If
I
that's
don't
in
know.
the-
I might be just bullshitting, but remember you even told me like the government has to tell us stuff now, right? Like part of the Trump's
it's
last.
Like, oh yeah, it's like when it's whenever there's like a certain amount of time that it's allowed to be kept secret, right?
Yeah,
so
something like that.
I wonder if like we're getting close to that.
But I bet the government isn't trying to be selfish about it. Like they're not dumb, but like think about the mass hysteria that would happen if they came out and they're like, yeah, there's aliens. Like this is not from our world. Like Bob Lazar even said that this spacecraft, like somehow the group of like the government that was working on it in Area 51, actually it's S4. It's like another subsection of Area 51 is like a little bit south, but they were saying like this craft is from a galaxy millions of light years away from ours. Like that's how far.
But how do they know?
I don't know. He didn't explain it, and that was one of the things that he read
That's
in
interesting.
his briefing.
I just wonder like
to
how
get
you
hired.
come to that like conclusion, right?
I mean, we don't know all the information.
And he also did say that, so like, okay, the process was when he first got hired, you just got to watch the documentary, but when he got hired, he had to read this briefing of hundreds of pages. And he was like, I wasn't sure if this is like, because some of this stuff is really weird. Like, I don't know if this is a test. I'm going to memorize it. And he's like studying it all. And then also like now after he's come out, he's wondering if like the government just puts in bullshit to like make your story less believable. So that could be one of the elements, right? Like,
Oh, I see.
it's from this galaxy, and he specified it, so then they know where that information came from because they only told so many people about that.
It reminds me of the final script.
they can track you.
Like for the last episode of Lost. I haven't seen it. If you have, don't tell me. I don't want to know how it ends because I may watch it someday. All I know is that
You're in for a disappointment.
All I know, that's what I hear. All I know is that the last episode, the script, they gave a different script to every actor that was in the episode. And
wow.
the script was basically the same, but slightly different with wording. So that and it was put on a special type of paper that you couldn't photocopy. And so that way, if the script got leaked, they would know exactly who did it.
That's the exact same type of.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what it reminds me of. It was like they're like, we're gonna give this specific story to this person, and like if any information gets leaked, then we'll know that it was him.
Yep. That kind of a thing.
Also, I was thinking about this. So what if the government is keeping all of this a secret because the people that have the ship and people that came here are still among us?
Yeah, that's a theory too. That like they specifically told them, no, don't tell anybody. We're gonna give you the ship or something. Like I don't even know.
Well, were you here when Trent was talking about the lizard people thing? Remember? Were you here? I think you were. Like so there's like this like theory about like the aliens might be like similar to like lizard type people, right? That's like one of the like theories about aliens. And then it's like you know how you talk about like these actors and government officials are all part of like the Illuminati and they're all like in the know and stuff, right? Randomly, there's like several Hulu commercials where like it'll be some type of famous actor. And he's like, this is your brain. And it'll like show your normal brain. He's like, and this is your brain on Hulu. And it's like all mushy and like green. And then he's like, we're just getting your brains ready for consumption. That's all we want. We want you guys to just take in as much Hulu as possible or whatever. And then at the end, there's always like some type of like tentacle or something. Like one is with Baldwin or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like a tentacle like comes out of his jacket and like wipes his mouth off and then like goes back in. Yeah. But it's like, why is that your commercial? It's so weird, right? But it goes back to like the Illuminati and the aliens and like the lizard people. Yeah. And so it's like, what if like a bunch of these famous people are actually not people?
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Yeah. Some things you gotta be careful, right? Like some things are just like so far fetched, but I mean that's how they all start, right? And then you bring more pieces, and then it's like, wait. So I don't know. The whole reason I wanted to bring up the whole Illuminati thing was like that eye in the pyramid is supposed to like represent like the third eye. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. It's like supposed to be like awakening yourself like spiritually or whatever, right?
Well, they're like the third eye that they are referencing is the pituitary gland in your brain, and like they call it an eye because it has a lot of similarities and characteristics of your eyes. Like there's rods and cones to actually like receive information and sensory information, and like there's images. It's here. It's a whole theory, right? Third eye crusted over or whatever by fluoride. It's wait.
You say crusted over by fluoride?
Third eye fluoride. Dang, bro.
Well, like what were you getting at with it?
Right here. The pineal gland. Oh, I said pituitary. It's pineal gland. And so that's like what it is, right? That's in our brain. We all have it.
Okay.
But it's usually always crusted over, and it's crusted over with fluoride, which is in all of our water, in bottled spring water, in the city water. Like it's what supposedly purifies water. And there's a study, right, that was done that proved that fluoride actually doesn't do anything for like cleansing. The only thing it's used for is for our teeth, like to preserve it.
Yeah.
What if there's a theory that the government is putting fluoride so that we can't awaken our third eye?
Oh, it's like keeping you like sedated, kind of.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, super weird. And
Like why is it like that? Like what if we never took fluoride in our body ever, and so it was just free flowing?
But you don't think that there is anybody who's never had it?
I don't know. I mean, there might be. There probably are. Like maybe the Illuminati. Maybe they're all awake. You know,
they're all woke.
They're all woke, and so they're able to harness this. I don't know. It just gets into crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's like so many conspiracy
It's
theories
nuts.
and so many like it's kind of crazy, honestly. Like
It's actually a lot.
it's like how much stuff do they know that they don't tell us? If we're just now finding out about this like element 115 or whatever, right? It's like how much more stuff do they know that we don't know? And it's crazy. Like we learn new stuff like every week, right?
Oh, yeah.
We learn all. So it's like how much information is out there that that like I don't know. It's just it makes you like constantly want to like know like, well, like I want to know what else I'm being like gate kept on, you know?
After watching that podcast and the documentary, like I want to go back to school and like research.
You want to do more research.
Like I want to learn
You wanna go
science. I want to be a scientist.
Really?
Like motivated a little bit. Yeah. Part of me.
A little bit of chemistry.
Everything. Physics. Rocket
Jack of all
science.
trades.
I mean, just like let's figure this shit out, you know?
Have maybe I'll save it for next time. I was gonna tell you guys about my buddy who like got jet fuel spilled on him because you talk about rocket science.
Oh yeah.
That scares
That's
me
poison.
because it makes me just think about like just like the process that jet fuel goes through. Like it like can't touch, you know, it can't touch you. Like if it touches you, it like fucks you up. But he got a bunch spilt on him,
Yeah.
and then he like instantly got this like special type of cancer.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah, and he had to go through this like
Bone
special
cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had to go through this
Worst
special
kind of pain
program,
cancer you can get.
and there was like this like experimental procedure to try and fix his cancer, and he said he went into the program with like 6 or 7 other people who had the same type of cancer, and he said that he was the only one who lived. And he's like we had to go in like every single day, twice a day, and like one day he'd just show up and like one guy was gone, and
Just didn't survive.
Just didn't survive. He talked about. He said it was the most painful experience that he ever went through because they basically had to like go in and like take out parts of his bone, and then like he could feel his bones growing, and he said it was the most excruciating pain that like you can't even describe it. Like think about the most painful thing you could possibly think of, and it's 10 times worse than that. And he had to go through it every day, and he beat the cancer, but he's like in pain every day. So he's like, the way it happened was like an issue like that was out of his control. So he basically won this like lawsuit. So he gets paid. He's like 100% disabled, gets paid every month from the government. He's like, I'm just smoking weed and living at my house in Colorado. And he's like, I have to smoke weed every day because if I don't, like I can't even, he's like, I don't want to get addicted to opioids and stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
he's like, I'm just going to smoke weed every day. And he's like, let me tell you, man, he's like, whatever happens to you, you break your leg, you hurt yourself, like, just understand that whatever pain you go through will never, ever, ever compare to like what those people had to go through in that like experiment.
He needs to be a motivational speaker. Like he's got a story that's so unique.
Oh, it's so crazy, man. It was giving me like chills when I was listening to him because he was explaining it in detail about how like you could like feel every bone in your body like growing in the worst way. Like it just ugh. So like jet fuel and that kind of stuff, like it kind of scares me.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit spills on you. Hey, you got cancer now. Like that fast. It's terrifying.
Yep.
Have you ever broke a bone?
No.
Have you? Me either.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's weird.
that is weird.
Different
I
breed,
sprained
bro.
my wrist, but even other than that, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably the worst
Nothing.
that I've had.
You know, it's crazy because like I have like milk or anything like that. So milk like makes your bones strong, right?
Supposedly. Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Supposedly, probably
I
another
never
lie
drank
from the
milk
government.
either.
Probably another lie from the
I
government.
mean, it's from a cow.
Yeah.
Well, we learned all that stuff in that documentary too, though, like about basically anything that comes from animals. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Like it makes you kind of want to like go like full like vegan after you watch that, but then you're like, oh, but I love steak.
Yeah, it was just too expensive. That was my main thing. If it was free, then hell yeah, I'd try it.
Is it really expensive?
Oh yeah, everything
Oh, yeah.
organic, vegan. You go to like Trader Joe's, all that shit's marked up. It's crazy.
Probably not even marked up. Probably just costs more to make.
Yeah,
Honestly.
because of a less demand. You know how it is. Supply demand.
We're actually
Over, yeah.
pretty far
Over.
over, so I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Yeah.
Yeah, last thing that
yeah.
supposedly the ships were discovered from a archaeological find.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let
yeah,
that
yeah.
sink in for the last
Wait,
stop.
it wasn't like the Roswell landing.
No, it was.
Oh, I was
like-
just assuming that
like they
that's-
dug it up.
Oh
Let
my.
that sink in. That's weird, right?
Well, when you talk about that, have you heard like the whole thing about like the pyramids? Like
How
they
they
talk-
were.
they talk about like the like the popular opinion is that all these like all these like slaves and all these people moved these giant rocks and placed them and made the pyramids,
Yeah.
right? But like they're built with like absolute precision. Like they are perfect, right?
Right.
And they talk about like the type of stone that's that they're made out of. And talk about like where you can get that. I don't have exact locations. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's like it's made out of this type of rock. In order to get rocks that are this big, they would have to come from like this area, and it's like far away.
And there's no cars.
No
back
cars.
there.
Yeah. So they're like, you're telling me that these people somehow were able to like, even if they did it with like logs and stuff, right? Like, think about like the time it would take to like move all of these stones and stuff, and then to assemble them perfectly. Like, they are perfect pyramids, and it just talks about how the likelihood of that is almost like less likely than like another life coming here and helping us build them, because
Mhm.
there's just, it seems so unlikely that like people did that, especially when like now we have like lasers and stuff that help us like cut things perfectly
Yeah.
and stuff, but they didn't have that. So how did you do it? It doesn't make any sense. It's pretty crazy. And then there's like on one of the pyramids, I guess there's like this like cylinder like hole that's like drilled into the side of one of the pyramids or something, but it's perfect. Like you would have to have a laser to cut a perfectly smooth like.
What if these aliens came to our planet back then,
Mhm.
and they just died because they don't reproduce? Okay, like that's the theory. Like once you achieve, like you evolve to this perfect being, and you don't have like sex organs, then all of a sudden you don't need emotions, right? Because like that's part of what drives people to have sex and breed and stuff like that. So you don't have the emotions. You're just like this being
Okay.
that does things.
Yeah.
It's like smart, big brain, small body, that kind of thing. And that's like what it's built for, like the ship size, right?
Yeah.
So these beings, they came to our Earth somehow, and there's only a few of them. Eventually they died. But like during their time they were here,
They accomplished all these other things.
nuts. I don't know. Just random stuff.
Yeah, it's actually Stiller said something. He said, "What if pyramids were pre-human? Like, what if the pyramids were there before people were there?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of scary, right? Because if there is like, I don't want to say, I feel like there has to be some other type of intelligent life out there. I mean, it doesn't make sense for there
Yeah.
to be nothing. So like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of scary to think that there are life forms that are so much more intelligent than we are, so much more capable with like what they have, that like if they did come here and then they just decided that they didn't like us, like we couldn't do anything. It would be like, it'd be
Yeah,
worse
like a
than Mars
Thanos
attacks.
Oh yeah, sorry, this is just going off. I just remembered something. Bob made a really good point though. Is like, what if where the spacecraft came from, they have an abundance of 115? It's like grass out there.
It's like a different, like what the Earth is made out of.
Yeah, and
Or
so
like-
so it's like really easy. Like their version of that spacecraft is like our bicycle. And so like when they came to our planet, they're like, oh shit, these guys are doing some crazy stuff. We don't have this technology. Like, and they thought the same thing about us.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying?
Like they're super capable with this one thing, but maybe
Because it's everywhere.
maybe they don't have water.
Yep.
Yeah, or I don't know. Yeah, anything.
That's
It's
pretty. That's pretty crazy.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, it is. All right. I think that's it, guys. We all have stuff that we gotta get done today.
Sir.
I think that's gonna about wrap it up. If you are listening, or maybe you're catching this on YouTube afterwards, be sure to come and drop us a follow on our channels: fb.gg/officerstealth, twitch.tv/okgary, twitch.tv/luckyshots. You can also sub to the YouTube. We'll put that in the description when we put it on Spotify and everything, and then vice versa for YouTube.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys turn on notifications. Come and check us out Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, Between the Lives, where we just talk about everything going on between all of our live streams. So thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Peace out. We'll see you guys next time. Later, guys.
Deuce.